Hey guys, it's Drewski here today, and I'm here to talk to a serious topic. I'm going to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum. We are going to be talking about the Jedi and how they aren't really squeaky clean in the eyes of morality and Earth laws. They kind of present it to you in a way it's not really shown in the movies, but they were a low key and oppressive group. It's just not shown too well, or it's misconstrued in a way that you don't really see it, and they push an agenda. First off, the Confederacy, it's obviously only fighting for freedom. They don't all want to be governed by the Republic. All of these different planets, they want their own laws. Much like the United States of America, we want to be governed individually as states rather than by the federal government, which is what the Galactic Republic can be seen as. And what they do is they go ahead and use a mysterious clone army that they get to wage this war. Slaves, I might add. We'll talk about that later. But they go out and oppress these planets that don't want to be ruled by them. And it starts getting shown lately in new media that there are two sides to the story. Like Cassian Andor, he's implied to be a separatist, which I think is a cool idea, and I'm glad that's getting more representation in Star Wars now. But back on topic, it is commonly shown that the Jedi kidnap young children, very young, as it's seen that Anakin, a 9-year-old, is far too old to be taken in as a Jedi, and they can't train him. This is also something that the First Order does in the sequel movies, and it's shown as a bad thing there, but somehow when the Jedi do it, it's not too bad at all. This is also done with the clone army, where they raise these young clones from infancy until they're 10 years old, and at 10 years old, they're fully grown and they're just fighting in any war. And I doubt they're getting paid well because they can't live on their own, they're not independent, they're just fighting for a cause they're brainwashed to believe in. And when some of these clones escape and start their own lives, they're ridiculed and prosecuted to the fullest extent, and sometimes they're even killed. And these clones, they don't grow up to live meaningful lives, as they are made to age twice as fast and die twice as fast. And so usually they're partners of these escaped clones. They outlive them, leaving them with families that don't have fathers. And a small note I'd like to add, the Jedi, they don't always treat their Padawans well. As seen in Season 2, Episode 6, Anakin lets Ahsoka give her battle plan, but constantly interrupts her. I know it's controversial to use Anakin as an example, but I think he was almost a perfect model for a Jedi and how he should be, except for a few small things. Like, he was too arrogant and all that, but he did a lot of things really well, and he was really powerful and knew what he was talking about most of the time. The Jedi, their view of thinking is also very narrow and dogmatic. They think there's one way to do things, and that's the only way, it's how it should be done. And if you stray too far from that and their order, you can't be a part of it. You get exiled and expelled, and I think it's very comparable to our real world Amish communities, where if you break certain rules, you're expelled from the Amish, or at the very least get shunned, which is very messed up. I also think it's surprising that they allow Ahsoka to leave the Jedi Order without much pushback, but maybe it's because of the obvious injustice that they carried out on her, accusing her of such a crime. The Jedi, they're also made to be very isolated. They can't carry out relationships except for a few small exceptions, such as Ki-Adi-Mundi, who got a lot of fucking done because his species was almost extinct. Another thing is the lying and dodging questions, such as Obi-Wan and Yoda not letting Luke know who his true father was, or who his true sister was, as it was pretty late before he knew that important information, especially about his sister, as they shared a few uncomfortable moments. And they seem to always be allowed to break the law, such as commandeering an innocent person's speeder, and I doubt that person's going to get their money back after the Jedi just crashed it into some shit going like a bajillion miles per hour, or ruining a person's livelihood by destroying the things they need to work, or ransacking one of their shops, running through it trying to catch somebody with no regard to the well-being of the people around them. I also think one of the Jedi powers that should really be considered a dark side or generally evil is the mind trick, as they're just bending innocent beings or not so innocent beings to their will, using the Force, a power that is unnatural, something that most people don't have and they can't defend themselves against such an invasion of privacy. This is most commonly seen on stormtroopers or just grunt units in militaries. And another thing, just using the Force to gain things you shouldn't really be using it to gain, like cheating at that dice game Qui-Gon Jinn did to get Anakin and the ship part and his mother. He used the Force to cheat the dice, basically, and gambling in itself would be considered wrong by the Jedi, but he just disregards this. So apparently it's not. I know this type of video has probably been made 1,000 times, as the Jedi are very easily able to be drawn to that conclusion where they are objectively evil, even though they're presented as the good guys in all of the movies and shows, basically. But I appreciate the time you took to listen to me talk about this and hear my opinion on it. And I am very excited to see all the new Star Wars content we'll be getting from Disney and how they will possibly show us some of the misdeeds of the Jedi and how they are not so good. But I kind of doubt that happening in the future. Although I am pretty happy with the Disney content we've gotten in the past couple of years, and I'm going to continue to enjoy it. And I appreciate you. Have a good day, guys. Hey guys, this is an edit after the video. I'd like to say a couple things I messed up on that kind of sound stupid. When I was referring to Season 2, Episode 6, I was talking about the Clone Wars. I forgot to mention that, but it was probably very apparent. And also, Qui-Gon did not free Shmi. That slipped my mind completely. I was bugging. Sorry guys, and have a good day.